You're listening to a main feed episode. Go to patreon.com/Celtic Ligers where €5 a month gets you weekly full-length episodes, stray bonus content and access to the back catalog. Also helps cover hosting and gives us money for sweeties. Thank you. Celtic Ligers.
Recorded 13th of August 2025.
Okay, welcome to Celtic Ligers.
Yeah, shout out to Dylan.
Shout out to Dylan, if you're listening. Still floored that... I was genuinely floored that somebody wasn't recommended this podcast by a person that they know.
Well, that's the Cable Street Massive for you.
Mm-hmm.
We love our podcast, don't we, folks? Gareth was just telling me about how he was wrong about the Naked Gun.
I was so wrong. So, like, I saw for Naked Gun, okay, the trailer for Naked Gun and the involvement of Seth MacFarlane and some of the promotional images for Naked Gun had me go like, I think this is going to be bad. The promotional image that like bugged me the most was the one where they're like, this image wasn't made with AI. And it's like Leslie Nielsen's got 6 fingers. And I'm like, first of all, that's like so played out. Secondly, it like, what are you spoofing? Because it's not like people were making, I've not seen that in movies and posters that people go, this wasn't made with AI. Okay. I just haven't.
He's just lying.
Maybe it happened.
He's just been a devil.
Message in and be like, actually, no, this is a common thing that people do on Instagram where it's like, this was not made with AI. Like a big tentpole blockbuster action movie was boasting about how an image wasn't made with AI. Okay, send that on to me. All right. So anyway,
they're just being a devil, man.
The trailer then has like Liam Neeson and he's like, oh, I'm going to shit my pants. And he's like farting. Okay.
Can you believe it, Liam Neeson?
I mean, that's another thing as well, which is kind of, you know, in Tropic Thunder where they have like Tom Cruise and then they're like, it was so funny. I was like, it's not, I don't find it funny to see Tom Cruise in a fucking fat suit. I just doesn't do anything for me at all. Do you know? Like he's not funny. And I also never found Liam Neeson funny when he was doing that bit with Life's Too Short where he's like, I'm a guy with cancer. You know that one that he did with like, I didn't find that funny either.
I haven't watched Ricky Gervais's hit sitcom.
Life's Too Short.
Life's Too Short. Starring Warwick Davis. No, I don't know that.
I've seen every episode of Derek, though.
Yeah.
Can't believe you got away with that one.
That's clever and funny, though. You know? It's like
you know what I'm talking about. Have you seen Derek?
Yeah, it's better. The guy who thinks he's smart but ain't. He's not so smart. That guy's not so smart.
Yeah. Like Ricky Gervais.
Hey, you were saying it must have been an easy role.
I did not say that. I would never say that. I'd only laugh at that. There's but anyway, I was saying from the start, Touch of Cloth was what I was like, that's what it should be. It should be a gritty, dark kind of movie parody with Liam Neeson wearing a leather jacket and like looking like the cops from the movies that I'm familiar with or that he would be known for. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this isn't going to be good. And when I saw that trailer where he's like farting, I was like, this is juvenile puerile. Seth MacFarlane sucks. I don't want to fucking see it.
When you see him farting in person though, or like in the context of the film.
In the context of the film, funnily enough, it does it made me laugh. Okay. And anyway, I'll get to that in a sec where like basically I was like, you know what? So I was like weighing up, will I go and see it? And then I was like, I don't want to go to the cinema and have an experience like I had with Deadpool and Wolverine where everybody is around me
great movie,
like laughing and having fun. And I'm like, I wish that a bomb would go off in the cinema. These people should not be allowed to leave. Okay.
I'm also on the record of having loved Wolverine and Deadpool.
I think that Ryan Reynolds should be lined up against the wall and shot. Okay.
It's peak. Did I do that sort of humor? But or like, what's the other one they say? That's a thing. But I love it anyway.
Holy fuck waffles. Okay, Marvel dickheads, get ready to get your boner socks out.
Yeah. I think because I'm just so not steeped in that world that just, you know.
Chimichangas, anyone?
The dog. The famous dog.
Oh my god. There's somebody in the cinema when I saw that. I've said this before. They gasped. They were like,
Chinese
and I was
Deadpool.
like, you particularly, you know, this bomb's for you, okay? The imaginary bomb that I'm letting off in this theater, okay? And I'm not talking about
Stink
what's
bomb.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Haven't seen it.
Shit.
The nice pool.
Oh god, stop. I
It
can't
was
do
good.
it. Can't
It was
do
funny.
it. But anyhow,
the stern British guy.
I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I won't do it.
Jim
Okay.
the stern British guy. He was good.
Who's the wait? What, oh no, I did like him.
Okay.
Well, he
Come
was
on.
he was actually funny. He actually had chops. He's
all had chops,
from
man.
Succession.
He's your man's husband from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
No, that's not him.
It is him.
Okay, look it up. Look it up.
What am I looking up?
Look up the cast of Deadpool and Wolverine right the fuck now. Okay.
Will you do it?
And say, so you're saying here that the British guy who was like Deadpool's handler is in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's what you're saying.
That's what
I just
I'm
want you
saying.
to say that. I want you to confirm that for me now. Because you're going to look like such a fucking fool in like 10 seconds time.
Okay, what am I looking up? Man.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Oh my god, you're gonna look so stupid, it's crazy.
I cannot believe you're saying this. I'm so glad we're getting this on the podcast. Wolverine, Deadpool. Wolverine. Red Reese? Is it him?
That's him,
Is
I
it?
think. What? Reese?
Yeah.
Reese who? From Malcolm in the Middle?
Red Reese.
Rhett Reese?
I'm asking. There's a lot of
I don't
links.
know who that is. Is it like one of the Wrexham guys? Is that it?
Marina Bakken.
Rhett Reese is an American screenwriter.
That him?
No, he wrote Deadpool 1 and 2.
Aaron Stanford.
What are you doing here? What's happening?
Is it? I'm going through the cast.
Neither of those are in the cast.
Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
Wasn't him. Hugh Jackman. Wasn't him.
Mhm.
Emma Corrin. Wasn't her.
No. Matthew
Marina.
McFadden.
Is that him?
That's the one that you think is Holt's wife or husband.
His wife. Oh my god.
My god.
Oh my god. Did everyone
I
just
thought
hear
you
that?
were going to look stupid, and now look at. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, it is him. I thought it was. What am I thinking of?
You're thinking of. He's in The Good Place as well.
I'm thinking of The Good Place.
Oh, okay.
Totally similar though. You can see.
Honestly, yeah, they are totally similar.
You can see.
Because they have that terrible fake swearing and that kind of smug, you know.
Both good though.
Both
Both
great.
what?
So anyway, in the trailer, you see like Liam Neeson. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna shit myself," and there's loads of farting. And I was like, "This is stupid." And I was like, "I'm gonna get a cam rip of the movie and just watch it at home." Fuck
Worst
it.
way to watch anything, by the way.
Worst way to watch anything. But I just wanted to watch it. And then I started watching it, and then I was like, "Oh, this is actually like good."
It's like, it, yeah. It's
And then in particular, I wanted to point out that scene where, so Liam Neeson is playing Frank Drebin Jr., okay? And he may be wearing the Leslie Nielsen costume and they're trying to look like the Leslie Nielsen movie, but in actuality, when you watch it, they are referencing contemporary action movies and stuff like that. And Liam Neeson is playing that character of like the grizzled detective, you know? And Akiva Schaffer is perfectly able to direct him to be like, I don't know how it is. I believe this, okay? Which is that he's like, try it this way instead. I guarantee that is what's happening on set, because instead of like just Neeson like hamming it up for the camera and looking at it and going like, isn't this so funny? He is playing it straight. He's doing a really good job. I loved it. And but in particular in that scene where he's farting in the car, okay, he's using this footage to try and shake down a criminal, you know?
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is they keep cutting back to the interrogation room, and then the criminal is basically like, oh no, man, stop, you know, because he's like eating burritos and drinking black coffee, and he's just like, you're such a piece of shit, Frank, you know? And then he's like, the criminal's like, stop, man, stop.
Yeah. Well, so the criminal's, he keeps eating chili dogs. They're trying to eat that chili dog.
Yeah.
And then like, he nearly shits himself. And then when he's like, you're such a piece of shit. And then you see him like with another chili dog. He's like, don't do this yourself. And then that's when the guy goes, don't do it. Don't eat it.
And then Liam Neeson is just in the corner with his arms folded, just has this face on of just like such discomfort and kind of like, I don't know, he's so anguished. I just was like, I was completely wrong. I thought that the film would be like goofy in all the wrong ways, and I was completely wrong.
But it is a very front-loaded film.
Yeah, no, it just like at the end, it just fucking air just goes straight out of it. Another thing that they don't have quite enough of. It's fine, you know. But there isn't as many visual gags as there would have been packed into the Naked Gun movies.
At the start, there was a lot. Like, there's not as many, but there are quite a lot. And then the second half, there are none.
Yeah, it was crazy. I just because usually with the Naked Gun movie or Airplane, when they walk in, your eyes are immediately darting around the whole frame to try and figure out where is this joke, where is this thing, and like small things like I think a bit obvious, and as in it's made obvious in Airplane, but still it's a visual gag where like the flash your sync seatbelt sign. Like underneath it says, you know, the Spanish of it is "Gocito Dauno," you know?
Yeah.
Stuff like that where you're like, it's just dense with like joke upon joke upon joke. Whereas in this one, it's like, there's maybe 2 jokes minimum happening on screen, you know?
Yeah, which is still a lot more than any other comedy film.
Oh yeah.
But what do you think of the coffee cup?
Because in the trailer, he was like driving along and then somebody passed a coffee cup in through the window and he was like, thanks. And I was like, what the fuck is that joke? That doesn't mean anything. And then when you watch the movie, they're just constantly being handed cups of coffee like they are in contemporary cop stuff. And I was like, that's why it's important to have that context when you see that joke. It doesn't make sense if the first thing you see is somebody being handed a cup of coffee through the window of a moving car, okay?
Yeah.
Like,
the first joke I think I probably laughed at was, and it's such an obvious one, but that's why it's satisfying, is there's a woman waiting in your office, and then he's like looking through the thing and he sees like a really hot woman. He opens it up and it's like the coat rack. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then lucky for him, it's Pamela Anderson. Pamela friggin' Anderson.
Yeah. I can't remember what the first one I laughed at was, but I remember my response to laughing, which was like, what the fuck? Yeah. I was like, it was like this thing where I was like, because in the opening scene when he comes in dressed as the Girl Scout, I was like, no, I'm not going to like this. This is stupid.
Such a bad opening joke.
I know. But like, I was kind of like, oh no, the Naked Gun was silly, but it wasn't that silly. And then you watch like Naked Gun, the original, and the opening scene is him breaking into like a room where like Yasser Arafat, Saddam Hussein, and Mikhail Gorbachev are around a table doing like a gentleman to evil sort of thing. And then he pulls off a mask and starts attacking them all. So I was like, all right, it kind of shares a kind of lineage with that scene, I guess. But the part where, and then the other part where I was kind of like, oh, that's an interesting choice. Well, that's an interesting choice. Sorry, I said it that way. But like, you know, in all of the Naked Gun movies, the opening scene is like the car driving down the road. Yeah. And I thought, oh, we're going to get one of those. Didn't get one of those. It was like, you know, I can't remember what it was. It was like metallic, you know, that sort of like dun 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 dun, you know, that kind of action movie schlock. And it was kind of to me, it was the movie advertising itself. Like, no, it is Naked Gun, but it's like a contemporary Naked Gun. We're not going to do, we're not doing that. We're going to do, you know, what would it look like if we did it now? This is what it would look like. But
yeah. I don't know how to feel about the bit where, you know, so at the start he's like, give me a minute with my old man, and he's like kneels down in front of him. I also thought they chose quite a funny picture of Leslie Nielsen for that. It's the one just off the poster, and then he's like, and you know, if I'm doing the right thing, will you send me a symbol, maybe like an L or something? And
I forgot about that. And
at the end, and it's obviously supposed to be like such a stupid, you know, just like any L thing now. And then at the end, it's Leslie Nielsen, or it's he's chasing your man, the villain.
Yeah.
And then an owl comes.
Yeah.
And then it is his dad.
I didn't get that at all. I had forgotten that part about the owl.
Yeah. I don't know if that's funny or not. Like, it's almost funny in how stupid it is. But it's nearly not stupid enough. You know what I mean?
The thing that was funny about the movie as well is that, like, you know, if you're trying to be like, what type of humor is it? It's like Hot Rod. It was just exactly like Hot Rod, which is why I loved it as well. I fucking love Hot Rod.
Yeah.
But that was a joke. Owl Dad is like something that would appear in Hot Rod.
Souls of the animal kingdom. Eagle, fox, bottlenose dolphin, octopus, house cat. Okay, let's jump this jump.
Like, oh, isn't it? It's fucking like people who grew up on like Adam Sandler comedy doing like, you know, oh, and you know, goofy animal protect me, you know, or something like that. It's like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was the villain in the movie, and I didn't know this until I went in, is Danny Houston. And I was like, that is pitch perfect casting, seeing Danny Houston in that role.
Yeah, he was great in Deadpool and Wolverine.
He was so fucking good. He's what?
Great in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Danny Houston. Was he in that?
Yeah, he played the handler, I think.
Okay. There was a bit in it as well. I don't know whether maybe it's a spoiler for a gag, but you know, at the end of so he's got this like scar on his face the whole movie, and then he's like looking in a mirror at the end, and he takes off the scar and moves it up his face, and he's like, okay, you know, stuff like that. Where you're like, that's funny. Good. You know, another one that was in the trailer that is such an obvious joke, but like is in such a lame, where the sell by date has passed on it, but I still liked it, was the part where he's like, 15 years for man's laughter. Must have been one hell of a joke, you know?
Yeah. It is weird that the criminal was Buster Rhymes.
Was that him?
I think so.
Oh my god, if you're going to look so silly in
in a different way to the first time.
In a much, much worse way. Pamela Anderson, also very funny. I thought she was perfect.
Yeah, also hot as hell. That might be a hot take.
Also, did I say this in the last one? CCH Pounder is the chief. Perfect. Because she's great. She's brilliant in The Shield, and so she is part of that cop stuff already. But the other thing is that the first captain was played by, like, can't remember her name now, Tony Soprano's mother. But she has like the exact same voice as CCH Pounder. It's so funny. It's like, Trippin', get in my office, god damn it. You know, that's sort of
it's a really good impression of her.
Well, have you ever seen what's his face from
It's
Always Sunny doing the impression.
Yeah, but like, it's so disconcerting sometimes because you do a lot of impressions, and then every so often you do one that's just so like bang on.
Oh, thank you. By the way, that was Busta Rhymes. You are fucking hardened, man.
Yeah, the word was where you are like you say, the jokes past sell by date, but still, just do the classics well. Like,
yeah,
when she's like, "Get in here now," but she's like in bed, and then he arrives in, and it's like she's still in bed, and then it's like, we have to be quiet because somehow she's still shouting while whispering, and then it's like, he has the thing account tomorrow.
Yeah,
If he doesn't get it, he's going to be passed over for promotion by this guy. And then Liam Neeson's like, but he did all the work. How could they give it to the other guy? But he's done all the work.
That was so good. Yeah. There was one other joke I was going to say. Oh, no, sorry. There's one other kind of criticism I was going to level at the movie, which is that the Naked Gun movies, people have been like eagerly anticipating this movie, and the thing that they keep posting on Twitter, which is correct, is that every single villain by the end of the Naked Gun movie has like hilariously dispatched. Okay, so the famous one is when it Ricardo Montalban, I believe, he like falls over the railing of the stadium and then lands on the ground, and then he gets like run over by a steamroller, and then a marching band goes over him and all this sort of shit. And then I was watching like the second one, and in the second one, Bob Goulet like falls off the top of a building, and it looks like he's gonna die, and he lands on like the gazebo or whatever, the awning, and just bounces off of it, and then he's like perfectly fine on the ground. He like dusts himself off, and then the lion just jumps out of nowhere and starts mauling him, you know. It's like, so I was like, what's gonna happen to Danny Houston? And then like nothing happens to him. It's not particularly funny at all, you know.
And I think one thing they did nice, I think it was really nice and sort of not over the top, but like, you know, they have this bit of a joke where it's like, Liam Neeson's his old white man, you know?
Yeah.
And then, like, he meets the villain and they get on really well.
Yeah.
Like, they're just matey straight away.
Yeah.
And then they sort of like each other. And then he just still decides to bust him. And then at the end, he's like, you know, we found out who the real hero are. The old white man.
Yeah.
Not over the top, it's just good, you know?
Yeah.
I also like, there's one other thing I like. I can't remember.
I know that, like, I don't really like when things get very referential, but there was 2 nods to the old movie. Well, I mean, if you count the Leslie Nielsen portrait, probably 3. But I liked at one point he walks into a room and you see the beaver from one of the gags.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But then there's a bit where like everybody's watching something on TV, and then they cut away and you see Priscilla Presley for like a second, and then she's gone. And I was like, holy shit, it's Priscilla Presley. She's like, I was like, how old is she? And she's like 85 years old, and she's in this movie. It was like crazy. By the way, she looks incredible for 85. Not that matters, but you know, she does.
Yeah, who's hotter, her or Pamela Anderson?
It was actually, I'd say, evenly matched, if you can believe it.
Priscilla. Anything to Elvis Presley?
Yeah, she was his wife.
His wife?
Yeah. His 16-year-old child bride.
I'm sure he was 16.
No, he wasn't.
No, I know.
They started dating when she was 14.
Yeah.
Oh, she's 80. Sorry, why did I say 84?
There's no difference between 80 and 84. Like 4 years. I'm going to be fucked in 4 years. Thank God I don't know. Doesn't look 84. I'll give you that one.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was like looking at pictures and I was like, I've staked my reputation to this now. But let's say for an 80-year-old woman, she looked very good.
You could do worse. She turned up on first dates.
You'd be like, lucky me. I don't know.
Maybe you'd be like, whoa, what's going on? I said my upper limit was 25.
Oh, sorry. I just remembered another bit where I'm not remembering the details correct, but you know where he like breaks in and he's trying to like take some footage over from like to transfer it to a hard drive, and it's meant to be that like ticking clock. But instead of it being a ticking, like, because usually in action movies it'd be like, it's 50%, it's 60%, you know. But instead in this one, it's like all the windows that he's having to close, where he's like, I accept, you know, like.
Yeah. There's one joke, and I really liked it. It just really made me laugh. But I'm hoping it's not a reference to something. But it's like, you know, the end where he's doing it's like, there's when the villain and him are finally squaring off, and they're like saying stuff, and then it cuts back and it's Batista.
Yes. Yeah.
And he's just delivering the lines for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. That really made me laugh. Like,
yeah.
Why Batista?
Yeah. It was an unusual one, all right. Yeah, I liked it. And now I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't get the experience of watching it. And like, because there was a trailer as well where like Liam Neeson basically, he did like this one actually did make me think maybe I should see it in a cinema. But it was like, have you seen the little charity video that he made where he was like, it's like, oh my goodness, little cat here needs to be fed, but I'll tell you this and then go and feed him. But the sorry, he's gonna fucking bother me now.
Just throw it out the window.
I forgot what point when I was making. What was it? Oh yeah, sorry. It's about like, it was like, if we don't support, you know, like soon there won't be a single comedy in theaters, you know, like please, give generously by buying a film ticket to go see Naked Gun in the cinema. Thank you, you know. And then he's looking very seriously into the camera, and I was very upset that this made me laugh, but they put this tiny little fart sound effect where it's like, but it's one of those like squeakers where it's like and he's just looking very seriously into the camera, and then just as he blinks the video ends, you know, and I was like, oh damn it, that's funny, fuck.
I think what he really did have a vibe of like, I don't know why this is funny.
That's the main thing that you need with this, you know. And it like, has to be, I don't know why this works. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, go feed the cat.
You have to have somebody who like trusts that this guy, the director, knows what they're doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I do. Welcome to the Naked Gun. Here we all have a go. Yeah, imagine a different Naked Gun now, where they really get naked. That'd be mad, wouldn't it? But I suppose in the film he sort of does. Spoiler. What is he like? Bloody Naked Gun. I saw a guy in the Irish subreddit talking about how we should still wear masks in the year 2025. I said, is it Halloween already? I said that to him. I said, is it Halloween already? He didn't reply.
Alright, sorry about that.
Don't worry, I vamped. I kept the rhythm going.
But now, speaking of
rhythm
parody, here's somebody who's beyond parody. Graham Linehan.
Oh yeah, you said you're done with Graham Linehan.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be done with them now. Yeah. But I'm actually not done with them because I've gotten activated again, thinking about his book. But yeah, Graham Linehan appeared on Joseph Rogan's podcast.
The grandfather of Celtic Ligers.
And like, I don't really know that much about Joe Rogan at all. Like,
Joseph Robinette Rogan.
But like, I didn't realize that he records podcasts 3 hours in length, and he records an interview every day. Okay,
he is a machine. You have to give him to that.
He's insane, and he has Graham Linehan on, and I was like Graham Linehan looks like the guy who owns Papa John's. You know that one? Like he's got that red shirt and the big red sweaty face, and his black hair is clinging to his greasy forehead because now he's like over in America. As we find out in this podcast, he's over there on a 3-year visa in Arizona. Okay.
Yeah.
And he is an Irish oaf being like cooked in that heat. He is looking more like a ham than I've ever seen him in my life.
I used to play a game called Zoo Tycoon. And you could you set up a zoo, but you know, one thing you could do was like you get a load of penguins, or you get like a deer.
Yeah.
And you stick them in like the snake pit or something. And he's like cooking alive, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, what terrain do you want to put this like dolphin in? It's like, what about the boiling water? That's that's the vibe Graham Linehan has on the Joe Rogan show.
Like obviously we went to see his Comedy Unleashed. You went to see it. Sorry, I shouldn't say that.
I was brave enough to see it.
Yeah, we should release the podcast from behind the paywall at this stage. You know,
our recorder's set as well.
Because I think it is the best thing that we've ever done. And then when anybody asks about the podcast, I want to send it to them, but can't because it's on behind the Patreon.
Yeah.
But it's brave journalism also, is what it is. Mark Maloney, we got to shout him out as well. Thank you so much for doing that. But Test Tube Babies, by the way, in Cork, comedy night. I don't know, trying to promote his shit. Go on at TTB Show on Instagram and find out about that. But anyhow, I guess it's because I have this obsession with them, and I was like, we obviously have to listen to the Joe Rogan Experience. But actually, just to let you know as well, I previously tried to listen to his appearance on Ian O'Doherty's podcast, and I had to turn it off because it was too depressing. I got one piece of information from that which might be worth having on the record, which is he started giving out about Arthur Matthews and says that he basically says that Arthur Matthews is obsessed with like the IRA, you know, or like the war for independence, but yet for some reason he doesn't care about women's rights. I just find it very funny. I was like, it was such a weird thing to say, like, oh, he cares so much about the IRA and like but he doesn't care about trans stuff. I was like, I mean, they're two completely different things. What are you talking about?
And then I spoke to Arthur, and Arthur was useless. You know, I think scared, to be honest with you. I think he's just, you know, he's obsessed with Ireland's IRA past and all the terrible things that were done then, but he doesn't give a damn about what's being done now.
The most surprising thing he's ever done is, remember he set up the account on the dating site?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at that picture now.
Well, he mentions it on this podcast as well.
Go away. I would have thought he had put that. I wouldn't be telling people about that.
I'm not joking. He is incredibly proud of that. Okay,
even if I was like a one testicled idiot like him. Graham, 29, she, her, loves cuddles, furry adult baby, grew up with porn.
Yeah, I mean, a potted history of Graham Linehan, comedy writer, created Father Ted, obviously. Then made the IT Crowd, which wasn't. I don't like it. But there was an episode in it that was deemed transphobic because it was. And then he was kind of upset that people were calling him transphobic But then he got his ball removed and decided to stay
Use his
awake
mind.
for the procedure, and then drove himself completely insane. He woke up and kept posting about trans stuff until his marriage broke down. And now he's a sad sack who lives in Arizona writing for Rob Schneider. Okay? What the fuck? Like, and he's genuinely got brain damage. Like, this isn't going to be, there's going to be numerous times where I'm lost for words throughout this. I'm going to guarantee, but a 3-hour podcast, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to listen to it. It was so tough. I'm it's going to be sounding like I'm doing this for effect, but like, it took me 4 days to listen to this podcast. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had to keep taking breaks. I had to I was taking down a lot of notes with it as well, and it was just so upsetting. It's such a horrible place to be. You don't. This could constitute bullying because he's not a well man. Okay.
Okay.
But I'm still going to do it anyway. So here's the rundown. Okay, of the podcast.
So first of all, he says hello.
No, he just starts talking about how trans people. No, just straight away, just going like, okay, first of all, and he, you know, the way now his voice, he's just constantly trembling and he's constantly nervous, and it's kind of like this feeling that you get, like, clearly, like, he's just thinking about the things that distress him the most to the point where his voice has changed. Do you know what I mean? He's just shaking constantly. He should start a podcast. So anyway, it starts off with a bit of patter. Graham now lives in Arizona, and he was riding a scooter and he fell off and he broke his nose.
Okay.
I just thought that was funny. Joe, I'm going to read. I have stuff written down, and sometimes I might just be reading it out as I've written it. Okay. Joe starts glazing him, talking about how vilified he is for simply saying the truth.
Yeah.
And he says, I found out about you. Maybe this would be of interest to you. He says, I found out about you from Adam Egget. He's like, Adam Egget loves you and thinks you're incredible.
Who's Adam Egget?
Adam Egget is like, you remember Norm Macdonald's producer on the show? His sidekick, Adam Egget.
Adam Egget likes
Graham Linehan.
Wow. That's
and I just found that crazy.
Yeah, I've said it before, but seeing Adam Egget in the real world, it's after Norm Macdonald died. It's a bit like seeing like a dog walking around without its owner. You know what I mean? They only put those down when the man dies.
It's like, what are you gonna do, man? Like, how do you exist at this moment?
Who's gonna feed you? You should be in the coffin.
And then Joe's basically like, oh, your story is crazy. So Graham starts to tell his story. He gets as far as saying he was a famous comedy writer before Joe diverts the topic to talk about how crazy AI is, and that there was this cool AI video he saw which looked like an actual movie.
I think this is going to be the interesting bit, is that like Graham thinks about one thing, and then Joe Rogan can't think about one thing for more than 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So like, and the other thing I don't know if this will come into it, but like, Joe Rogan has this fantastic ability to like, you're trying to talk to him about something and then he takes the wrong point from it. You know what I mean?
Oh my, so often. It's
like,
crazy. Yeah.
I'm not saying this would happen, but I can imagine like, Graham talking about like, you know, how all these like predators are online, and then he'd just be like, yeah, the internet's crazy, man, isn't it? Like, I saw this video. You know, like,
that's 100% that happened. Like, something exactly like that happens. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. So anyway, basically what happens is he's like, oh, I saw this crazy video. It was like cyberpunk. And then Graham's like, I want to go back to my story.
He says that.
Yeah. And then Joe's like, well, yeah, we will. This is just how we do things here.
Yeah.
And then they start watching the cyberpunk video.
Don't interrupt me. I'm watching a video. What was the video?
I didn't watch the video like part of the Rogan Experience, but it was just some fucking piece of shit, you know, where it's like, you know, oh my God, it looks just like a cyber, like if all I typed in was cyberpunk movie and then this came up and it's like, all right, it looks terrible and boring. So what's your point, you know?
Yeah.
And then like, you know, where you go like, what about that thing that's from this movie? What about that thing that looks over here? Yeah. But like, think about it like years from now when they've ironed all that stuff out. And I was like, no, I won't. You know, like, I find that's the biggest argument with AI. By the way, just to do a brief diversion, I was telling my dad, my train nerd dad, okay? Pause. My dad likes trains, but anyway.
Does he really?
He loves trains.
Bit on the nose.
I know. Big into transport, big into all that stuff. Like, genuinely, my dad goes on holidays, and he'll go on holiday to go on a train in Germany, okay?
Really?
He went to see the opening of a train station in Germany.
Where?
I don't know. Like it's not like, it opened in Berlin. It opened in some place in Germany, which isn't like the first three places you think of, you know?
Dusseldorf.
Not even. It would be down like fucking Aachen or something, you know? Like,
yeah.
But anyway, I was telling him about the Dermot Desmond article. And just to show you how much of a consistent troll my dad is, he basically said, well, now actually...
Love it.
I was like, shut the fuck up.
So good at this.
He is so good at winding, because I was like, there's no way that he can object to this. Yeah. Dermot Desmond is saying we need to get rid of trains and replace them with self-driving cars, okay?
And he's like, fair play, correct.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I was like, I know that you don't think... And I literally had to be like, we're not talking about this anymore. You're just trying to wind me up. And he's like, no, I'm not. And he's trying to pretend like he's not winding me up. And maybe in his mind, he thinks he's not winding me up. But there's just no fucking way, you know?
Yeah.
It's ludicrous, okay?
Yeah.
So anyway, so basically they look at the cyberpunk thing and they go, well, that's insane, isn't it? And then Graham says, you could maybe make some cool things with it. Joe says you could make POV porno of the hot girl just like from next door.
Crazy.
And then Graham uses this as an opportunity to get back on track, talking about how there's an iPhone. Like, so what happens frequently in this, to get Joe back on track, you're like seeing the kind of, what's the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon type thing, where it's like, how do I get back to trans issues as quickly as possible? Yeah. And so what ends up happening is like, because AI is providing this book I read, by such and such. Yeah.
I'd say he's very good at that. Graham Linehan. I'd say he can bring anything back to trans stuff in like,
my God,
2 steps, you know.
Well, rate this, all right? What do you think of this one? He says that AI is providing what is known as an iPhone moment, and that iPhone, when it came out, changed everything, okay? And then he references a book, like a smart person might, about how low self-esteem skyrocketed in teenage girls after the creation of the iPhone, which brings me back to my story. That's what he says.
Yeah, it's a bit clumsy.
Yeah. But like, I also was like, the implication that low self-esteem didn't exist in teenage girls before the invention of the iPhone.
I do think it made it worse.
I mean, like, when I was a kid, they were like, you're reading magazines and they're telling you that you gotta look and be a certain way. Britney Spears is like this. And then it's like, oh, the iPhone, though, like, every part of popular culture makes, like, women's self-esteem worse, okay?
Yeah.
So, like, the idea of, like, saying the iPhone is unique in that aspect is not true.
It's not the iPhone.
No.
But it's like social media. The bloody social media.
Basically, though, which brings me back to my story, and you can, like, hear Rogan sort of, like, go, you can hear him frown. He's basically like, this isn't what we're doing here.
Yeah.
But he just relents anyway, okay? Linehan says that he was incredibly successful, but as soon as he started speaking up about women's rights, it went away. He also pretends that he doesn't know how many BAFTAs he won in front of Joe Rogan. And I've listened to a lot of Graham Linehan, and I know for a fact that he knows exactly how many awards that he's won, okay? There's not like, just pretending like, he was like going, I genuinely don't remember. It's like, you fucking remember every single award you won, you narcissist, okay?
Yeah.
Like... Rogan then says that trans people exist, but that there are sicko men who want to invade women's spaces, and we just can't have the conversation because people get up in arms over it.
That's an interesting one. What does Linehan say to that?
Linehan says that he thinks people went after Joe. Sorry, he kind of gets distracted. Okay, he says, "Yeah, no, sorry, he didn't. He's not distracted. He's still on point where he's like, I know exactly. Like, he's like, people are going after you for your opinions. Okay,
because he doesn't agree that trans people exist at all.
No, because he goes on later. There's a funny bit later on where, like, yeah, that's exactly as you say. You know,
yeah.
Like the thing about this is Graham is calculating in real time, like, how do I best use this to my own promotional advantage?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to think about who listens to Rogan. I have to think about Rogan himself, and so he's kind of trying to figure out which things he says and doesn't say. You know, and very often throughout this whole thing, they'll kind of get on a roll, and then the thing about Linehan is that he is like a fucking nerd, like a dickhead. You know, he grew up being bullied, and you know, Rogan is a bully. Okay,
yeah,
like he's just a jock. So they're fundamentally different personalities. So every time they start riffing and getting on, one of them will say something that triggers the other one, and then it just stops. You know?
Yeah.
It'll be like Rogan, like Linehan will be like, "Well, no," and that like I'm responding to Rogan being a bully, and then Rogan will be like, "Well, no," and wanting to bully Linehan, but not. You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry. He Linehan then says, I've also, by the way, I've highlighted all of the most insane things that Linehan says. This one's in bold. Linehan then says that he thinks people went after Joe over his COVID opinions because he was interviewing transphobes.
Okay.
So Rogan has on trans critics, okay?
Yeah.
And because he had those critics on, that's the reason people were going after him, because of his COVID opinions.
Oh, right, I get you. Yeah, okay. That's a very good point. Not, you know what I mean? That's a very smart move by Lennon, isn't it?
It's remarkable. I don't know whether he believes. I think he does believe that, funnily enough. But like, it's just.
Like, but as well, if you're like trying to do what he's doing,
yeah,
it's like. It's a good marriage, but I also don't think it would work on Rogan. I think we're going to just be like, no, it's COVID.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, he does delight in the idea of there being some sort of grand conspiracy where all of these different factions are connected.
Yeah.
But I think he's just entertaining it for this conversation. It's not something that he actually believes, you know?
Yeah. The mad thing about Rogan is that we said it before, but he is the type of guy who, like, you think you've convinced him, and then he just comes back the next day with his original point. You know what I mean?
I know. And now he's just, because of COVID, he's entirely surrounded by conservative voices.
Yeah.
Whereas before he would have, like, Abby Martin on, and she'd be like, I was in the West Bank and saw an old man get shot in the back of the head just for walking past an Israeli.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. That's insane. And then now he doesn't have those people on. So it'll just be Ben Shapiro going like, you know, actually, if you look at the physiology of Palestinians, it's different to human beings.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's insane.
Yeah. Actually, our hats are normal. That's crazy.
Rogan goes off on men dressing up as women to invade women's spaces. Linehan then goes off on transvestites, and Rogan is like, I don't think they like when you call them that. And genuinely, he's like, I don't think you're supposed to say that. And then Linehan scoffs at this and basically says trans people aren't real and that the internet created them.
Right, okay. So he's finally in his form after 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many funny moments where Graham will say something and then be like, oh, I don't do this. And then in the next sentence reveal that he actually does that. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, you know, where he's like, I don't know why these people were getting so insane. I was simply calling them like Nazi pedophiles or something, you know? You'd be like, so you do know, you know what I mean? Or something. He's a very special man. Graham starts going off on one. The trans activists are always saying, how are we going to, this one is fucking mad, sorry. This one should be in bold. How are we going to police who goes into women's spaces? And then Graham says, well, most men in the past were decent, so we didn't have to.
Right.
Which doesn't really make sense given his argument that the patriarchy is some sort of toxic, insidious force. And in fact, he goes on to mention in the next sentence, the urinary leash. You know that thing from like Victorian times where apparently there wasn't like public bathrooms for women, and that was deliberate so that it made them stay at home, and you know.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So it's kind of like, oh no, men used to be decent. And the urinary leash, it was like, well, that's an example of men not being decent.
Yeah.
Like throughout history, like a historical example.
Yeah. In the rare old times, they were decent though. In Dublin?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
In the rare old times.
He says that he posted something after his surgery, then was given a death threat, and the pair of them lament how mean this movement is. Then he dead names a trans woman who sent the police to his house and says they were convicted for paedophilia, which I could not verify through reputable sources.
Yeah. But he was, did have a restraining order put against.
Yeah. Like, there's multiple times where he goes like, oh, they're dragging me in and out of the courts for my beliefs. And I was like, no, they're dragging you in and out of the courts for harassment. Okay.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of going like, simply for expressing these views. And it was like, it's not simply for expressing these views. You're saying horrendous shit to people.
Yeah.
You know, even if like if you were saying that to just a person on the street who wasn't part of like a vulnerable minority group, people would punch you in the face.
Yeah.
Okay. If you were acting the way that you were acting.
Yeah.
He then says he made a bunch of people's careers and that they should have stood by him. And then brings up the gay dating app thing and that his friend photoshopped the image, which is funny that he had to recruit a friend to make that horrible image.
Yeah. And he's like, so blame the friend.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. I'm the victim.
He says that he makes a little joke saying, oh, it even fooled your pal, Alex Jones. I was like, yeah, Alex Jones, who appears on this podcast, who had to give a bunch of money to the victims' families of Sandy Hook because he said it was an op, a psyop.
Yeah. I also don't think that I don't know what the context was, but if he used on a show, I don't think you can say that it fooled him. I think you could say that he used it. You know what I mean?
Well, apparently he was giving out about it because he thought it was real.
On the show.
Yeah.
Well, that's the show. Like, as in, I think Alex Jones would use any. Yeah. Alex Jones would be talking about, like, Bigfoot footage. Like, he doesn't believe that. He just uses it for his agenda.
Yeah, it's just fodder. It's content.
Yeah.
Then Joe starts talking about J.K. Rowling and how great she is. Graham doesn't intervene here to say he actually doesn't like J.K. Rowling because she didn't sufficiently stand by him.
She doesn't reply to him at all, does she?
Yeah. But there's another thing there recently where there was what's that verdict that passed in Scotland? Something about like, you need to have the gender you were assigned at birth put on all your documentations or use those bathrooms or something horrible that's restrictive to the life of trans people.
Yeah, I don't know. But I remember vaguely.
I just want to get it right. The UK Supreme Court rules legal definition of a woman is based on biological sex. That's from the BBC. So the day that happened, when Graham Linehan should have been celebrating, somebody got in his replies and was like, congratulations to you and J.K. Rowling. And then he goes, J.K. Rowling would never stand by me. She wouldn't throw me under the bus. You know, she would throw me under the bus in a moment's notice.
Yeah.
And J.K. Rowling, like, for all of her many faults, she does not commit the same level of harassment that Graham Linehan does. She is not on Twitter morning, noon, and night posting pictures of teenagers with their bodies exposed, going like, "This is what you support, John Ronson." You know?
Yeah.
So, like, she's not the same type of crazy that She's part of a different faction to him, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. The billionaires.
But he doesn't correct them. This one I always find funny. He's mentioned this in the past, and I struggle to think why anyone should care about this. Okay?
Right.
Graham says that there are men committing crimes and misgendering themselves, so people think that women are committing those crimes.
Right. So people blame the gosh darn women. And is that true?
No, it's not fucking true. Like, and if it is true, it's true to like the most minute. Like, it's just. But like, even if it was true, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Do you know? I was like, no, but a man committed that crime, not a woman. All right.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm only messing. Because I thought he was going to be like, they're doing it to get into women's prison.
Yeah, I mean, women's spaces.
But he's just saying they're doing it to mess up the stats. Which is even weirder. Like,
it's just, what are you talking about? So anyway, then he goes, this is a funny bit. He says that this is a bipartisan issue and that there are left-wingers in the UK who believe this too. And then Rogan mishears him and instinctively starts making fun of left-wingers, okay? And he references J.D. Vance and calls them all childless cat ladies. And then Linehan has to awkwardly correct him saying, no, these are the good guys. And Rogan says, oh, sorry.
Who is he? Bloody Meditations for an Anxious Mind?
Don't even get me started on that. Well, I mean, like, whatever. I mean, who cares? Apparently, you were saying he does it to everybody, but he did some video there where it's like, this is left-wing academics, and then he just describes academics, and then kind of is like, oh, you call yourself left-wing, and yet you got an iPhone.
Yeah.
I put on a British voice there because I think that's spiritually English.
It didn't seem like it was filmed in London.
It is filmed in London. Alexei Sayle is in it for some reason.
His dad's a musician.
Isn't he a dreaded Nepo baby?
I don't think you could call him a Nepo baby.
I thought that one of his parents was involved in like broadcasting, basically.
One of his dad's a musician.
Well, I know his dad. Well, okay. All right.
Country. Which countries is you?
He uses his dad's country connections to become a popular TikTok star.
Yeah. My dad lent me his iPhone.
Linehan brings up the Father Ted musical and how it was going to be his pension, but they booted him out of it because of his anti-trans activism. Okay?
Yeah.
I was finding that like his idea of like, that was going to be my pension. It's like, what a bizarre thing to think. You know, like, again, even if it's true, such a strange thing to say out loud where it's like, they denied me. Like, you don't know whether that was going to be some, like, all chances point towards like it being a hit, okay? But the idea of being like, this was going to be my pension, it's just sort of like...
It was going to be so funny. It was about Father Ted getting an iPhone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Father Ted, and he's on TikTok and he's flossing because I wrote this 7 years ago.
Yeah, he's flossing his ass like they do be doing. And then Dougal is dead because we couldn't get the rights for Dougal.
He's like, you know, like again, the way that he portrays this, where he's like, I'm just a simple guy talking about. And this is my opinion. Men can't be women, okay? And simply for stating that, I've just been ostracized, you know? They won't let me have a hit West End play. To which I would say, like, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is like one of the biggest hits on the West End. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can be a transphobe and continue to make a living in the arts, okay? You just can't harass people online, okay? And act the way that he's acting.
What was the thing for Father Ted the musical? The plot.
It was called Pope Ted, and he's never really gone into details about it, but one of the things that he said was that always ups. Let me just try and find it here.
We have to deal with the whole scandal. And he's like, those boys were just resting in my bed.
So here you go. This is from 2018. He said that he used the... So this is from chortle.co.uk. Sorry, everybody. Sorry to comedy fans out there. He says, the Father Ted music, this article says, the Father Ted musical owes its existence to Donald Trump and Jeremy Corbyn, writer Graham Linehan has revealed. He said that he used the political figure's rise to convince co-creator Arthur Matthews that the project in which the Craggy Island priest becomes Pope was not just a cynical cash-in. If Trump can win, then maybe Ted can be Pope, he told his colleague.
True.
Linehan told stand-up Jarlath Regan on his Irishman Abroad podcast that Corbyn's also interesting because it's not quite the same story as for me. As for me, he doesn't seem to have much charisma. This seems to be a time when unlikely people can get to those positions, so maybe audiences will be able to suspend their disbelief about Ted advancing through the ranks. And little did Graham know that the Pope is going to be a gosh darn American.
He might as well be Pope. Can I make a coffee?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That's the end of the free bit. Go to patreon.com/CelticLigers to hear the rest. Which is just about Graham Linehan on Rogan and also a bit at the end about Al Porter's appearance on some generic Irishism name podcast. What was it called? Come here and I tell ya? Would you stop? Can I just ask? I can't remember. Let me Google. It was called You Havin Us On. Al continues his rehabilitation tour making jokes about Jeffrey Epstein, a sex offender protected by elites. Interesting.